Hey guys, Kitty Sapphire here, and welcome to Kitty Reacts. I hope you guys are staying warm out there and staying safe and healthy. Tonight we're going to be doing another reaction video of Tom and Jerry's trailer. Now, I used to be a big fan of Tom and Jerry when I was little. I loved the usual Looney Tunes, I loved Space Jam, I loved Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And I know some people were a little bit off-putting about the Tom and Jerry movie. There was a Tom and Jerry movie way back in the 90s. And it was the first time Tom and Jerry ever talked. Tom and Jerry was one of those few cartoons that basically you had no dialogue. It was all done from body language and various facial expressions and certain attacks and what they used to do with each other. Some of the stuff was so rough. A lot of them, throwing pies at each other, getting hit by metal objects. It was one of those few cases where, it seemed like all tunes did that back in the day, but Tom and Jerry, for me, it had a really soft place in my heart, and a lot of the stuff that they did was pretty rough. So, and going back to the old 1990s version of Tom and Jerry the movie, I really enjoyed it. I love the music that was introduced into it. The voice actors were really good. I can understand now as an adult how people felt sort of off-putting regarding Tom and Jerry speaking for the very first time. So I can understand why a lot of people were not necessarily happy by the movie. However, now I see that they're doing a much more updated version for 2021, and I'm a little nervous about this because usually not necessarily extra new installments usually are on the same par as the previous version. And if that one in the 1990s were considered to be off-putting to a lot of people even when they were young like that, I'm not sure exactly how things will fare in this particular case. I know I'm saying a lot of negative stuff about it, but I'm just these are my slight concerns. However, it could be totally the opposite. I hear that it's supposed to be similar to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where you have bits of 2D intermingled with live action, which I love so much when I was little, and they were able to execute that fantastically. So they might be able to pull it off. I don't know. We'll just have to see. So let's get started. Now let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so it's... What's wrong? Ooh! Oh no. Okay.
We have a mouse problem.
With the what now?
Oh no.
Everybody gonna shine. I was born like this, don't even gotta try. Oh wow, this is so detailed. We could hire an exterminator, or we can leverage millions of years of predatory evolution.
Okay. That Jerry's raw. That's terrible.
We will be ruined. No, sir, that's not gonna happen. That rodent is toast.
Goodbye. Dang.
I will not let this hotel be ruined by a cat and a mouse.
Well, there goes the cake.
might have just pulled this off.
Really?
Wait a minute. Really? Good day, sir. Okay. Well, that was very interesting. What I do appreciate... Well, actually, you know what? Let's start all over. The fact of the matter is, there are a lot of good points that I actually like about this trailer. The fact of the matter is, when they said that Tom and Jerry is going to start all over, it sounds to me that they're going back to the original formula, which has them not talking at all and just going with the hijinks, body... shenanigans that they usually do in the old school Tom and Jerry, which I really appreciate a lot. A lot of those hits had me like flinching a little bit. The Batman reference was a little bit on extra, but I still think it was a little funny. I do like Jerry really, he's unforgiving. It's terrible. Like, he's very, very hostile towards Tom. Like, there are times throughout this trailer I felt sorry for Tom in most of the cases, especially when he got sandwiched between those two cars, where he basically got beaten in the back of the head, or he got run over by a bus. That actually does bring me back to the old school, old classic of Tom and Jerry and the shenanigans, the violence that they used to get themselves into. It was crazy. It seems like it's really clean. It's not entirely 2D. It looks like it's 3D animation. It's mainly 3D or CGI animation. It's not full on flat out 2D. So, it comes off a little bit cleaner, and I appreciate that. Like I said, I was really impressed by how the actions and the hits actually, like I said, there were many times where I was flinching and I was like, ooh, I felt that one. I really did. Now to the things that I'm a little bit hesitant about. That, you have sort of Chloe, first of all, I love her as an actress. All the other roles that I've seen her in, Let the Right One In, her as Hit Girl, there was another movie that she did, which was showing her a little bit more of a drama based aspect of her acting capabilities, and I appreciate those. In this, it just seems, I don't know, it just seems out of place, and every time she shows up on the screen, it takes away from Tom and Jerry, which the movie is basically about. Which I feel that's a little bit what made, Looney Tunes Back in Action a little bit of a problem. Trust me, I love Brendan Fraser, and I love Steve Martin. Steve Martin was hilarious in that movie. As much as it was really bad, Steve Martin was still hilarious. And I love I love Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny and some of their antics that they would get into. But when you show too much of the human characters, it kind of takes away from the actual what the story or what the movie is basically about, which is Tom and Jerry. Also, the fact that they had, I keep forgetting his name. I deeply apologize. He's the one who was the chef, and he's like, oh, I'm not gonna let a mouse basically ruin the wedding. The one, he's the famous neurosurgeon who turned actor and comedian. And no, he's hilarious. I love him. He's a ball of fun. But again, it's really distracting, and it pulls you out of the shenanigans that Tom and Jerry gets themselves into throughout this whole entire hotel. And also the fact that the elephants specifically are cartoon cartoons as well. I don't know. Maybe it seems a little bit empty and hollow a little bit because maybe this is because I love Space Jam and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and there was like tons and tons of cartoon characters throughout throughout the movie that you had no choice but to basically look at your surroundings and see who's there. You saw Donald Duck and Daffy Duck and Goofy and all, Betty Boop and all these other cartoon characters that, you couldn't take your eyes off of, and you had to watch the movie several times in order to catch them all. So, I guess because of the fact that I grew up in an environment or watching those particular live action / cartoon type movies, it's kind of ring hollow when it's just Tom and Jerry and cartoon or toon elephants. It just seems a little bit out there and odd. I would have liked to see the bulldog and the puppy or the duck. There's actually a plethora of other characters they could have added in here, like Uncle Tex, Jerry's crazy Uncle Tex, his little baby brother, the gray mouse, who always run around with a diaper, his best friend, which would be a woodpecker and a duck, often Jerry would have to rescue them from Tom, running the risk of being eaten. Tom and his alley cat friends, the dog and the pup, the father and son. I would have loved to see those characters as well in the trailer. And I don't know, they would all go on vacation or somehow would be squeezed into this hotel. So it wouldn't be so much, I guess, catered to the human characters in this movie. But other than that, it's mainly a 50-50 type of thing for me when it comes to this trailer. So, yeah, that's pretty much my reaction to it. So, I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And I hope you guys catch me in the next one. Bye!